Being a Sigma means that you have a distinct way of thinking about circumstances that often leaves others perplexed, and you know how annoying it can be to continuously deal with people who just don't understand you. Although they may seem alone, Sigma guys embrace their principles and ideas regardless of what other people believe or expect from them, and being a Sigma has its benefits. Sigma males march to their own drum and like to remain to themselves. There are also a few bothersome things that only Sigma men can identify with. Here are 8 of them, starting with the need to leave as soon as you get there. Do you know how it feels to enter a dull party or social gathering and then, within 5 seconds, want to go? Sigma males encounter this when they quickly look around the room and determine that it's not their type of place. They hear loud chatter, shallow conversations, and people who are making an effort to fit in. Their minds immediately tell them that this is not where they belong, and every minute spent there feels like a wasted minute. Being confined to a room full of superficial conversations seems like a prison to Sigma guys, who would like to be someplace else or engaged in something significant. They may find themselves looking at the clock to determine how long they must remain until it is appropriate to go. When they glance around, they see others smiling and conversing, and they seem to be having a wonderful time, but they lack the same energy and feel stuck in a cycle where the subject is shallow and the discussion is monotonous. Sigma guys are drawn to genuine connections, depth, and a normal social. Even though they try to be courteous and not show their impatience, they are actually counting down the seconds until they can leave politely. They may even begin making up reasons in their minds for why they must leave early because they feel like their valuable time is being wasted on things that don't concern them. When they finally leave, they feel a sense of relief and can finally breathe again. They may even feel a little guilty about not staying longer, but they know deep down that it was the right choice. Number 2, they avoid being photographed when someone takes out a camera. A Sigma male's first instinct is to avoid being photographed. He may seek out reasons to leave the room or hide behind people so that he is not seen. When he is photographed, he frequently feels uncomfortable and out of place. He may stand rigidly or attempt to give a forced smile that never looks real. He prefers to be behind the camera, capturing genuine moments, rather than in front of it. Being the center of attention is not Sigma males' preferred role because they are naturally private and dislike drawing attention to themselves. They believe that the pressure to be Instagram ready is pointless and fake, and they would rather be authentic and true to themselves than just someone posing for a photo. They also don't understand the need to post every moment of their lives on social media because their happiness comes from meaningful experiences and in-depth conversations, not from likes or shares. When they decline to be in a photo, some people may perceive them as distant or shy, but it's not because they value in-person interactions more than a digital snapshot. True friendships and happiness don't need photographic proof. Sigma male avoids being photographed not because they detest photography but rather because they would rather be in the moment and not worry about getting a picture. For them, being joyful is more important than flaunting it in picture. Number 3, when nobody can tell whether you're being serious or just kidding. Sigma males have a unique sense of humor that often leaves people confused. They jest in such a dry and SLE style that it's not always obvious to others. This might result in uncomfortable situations when everyone stops and attempts to figure out if they are being serious or not. Whether they're meant to laugh or not, Sigma guys often joke in witty, subtle, and sometimes sardonic ways rather than loud, exaggerated ones. They find humor in the unexpected and everyday, which can catch people off guard. To an outsider, this might sound like a serious statement, but to those who know him well, it's a clear indication of his dry humor. However, not everyone picks it up right away, which frequently results in a lot of puzzled looks and silence. As a result, people sometimes assume Sigma males are always serious or even a little stern, and they miss the humor because it's not delivered with a loud laugh or a big smile. When someone understands their jokes, it feels like a minor victory because it shows that they are on the same page and can appreciate their subtle humor. This miscommunication can make Sigma males feel uncomfortable, especially in a group context where humor is more direct and easy to pick up on. Sigma men prefer to use well-crafted jokes that make people laugh and think at the same time. This serves as a filter because people who understand their humor are more likely to be intelligent and have a similar sense of wit. When people don't get it, Sigma men must deal with the awkwardness that ensues. They may feel as though they must explain their joke, which detracts from its spontaneity and fun. Number 4 is being interrupted while trying to explain something in detail. Have you ever been in the middle of explaining something important and then someone just interrupted you? It's one of the most annoying things, especially if you're a Sigma male. You work hard to make your points simple and clear so that everyone can understand you, and you carefully choose your words and try to keep things in layman's terms, but then someone cuts you off out of the blue? It feels like they don't respect what you're trying to say, and it throws you off balance. 1 second you're clearly outlining your ideas, and the next you're off course. Being interrupted feels like a slap in the face because Sigma males enjoy meaningful conversations and like to make sure the other person fully understands what they're saying. It's as if someone is saying that what you're saying isn't important enough for me to listen to. Interrupting someone is not just impolite but also disrespectful, since Sigma guys speak to share information or to solve problems, not merely to hear their own voices. It takes work to remember where you left off and to get the conversation back to your original point, and sometimes it's just impossible to regain that flow, leaving you feeling defeated and unheard. This is the worst part of Part C. Attempting to get back on track after your train of thought has already veered off course. Sigma guys often cope with this by becoming quieter. They may talk less in social situations to avoid these interruptions, which may come off as reserved or uninterested, but it's their method of escaping the annoyance of being stopped all the time. Number 5. After taking a vacation with the wrong people, you feel like you need another one. It feels like you were on a completely different trip than everyone else when Sigma males go on vacation with the wrong people. You just returned from a vacation with some friends, and now you're even more exhausted than when you left. Have you ever been there? Maybe it was fun, but you didn't feel like yourself the entire time. You were always altering your plans to accommodate everyone's needs and participating in activities you weren't particularly interested in. The vacation was meant to be restful, but it turned into a never-ending compromise because you were with the wrong people, each with their own interests, priorities, and energy levels. Rather than feeling refreshed, you felt exhausted and stressed out. There wasn't time to just relax and take in the scenery since your pals wanted to do everything at once. It seems like everyone else recharges except for you, number 6, but this was just too much for you. You thought you'd return invigorated, but now you need another vacation to heal. The pleasure of being incognito in a big crowd, being anonymous, can sometimes bring a sense of relief and freedom because no one knows who you are, no one is paying extra attention to you, and you can just be yourself without feeling pressured to act a certain way. It's really liberating to walk among strangers knowing that no one is judging or analyzing your every move. There is no spotlight on you, and you can move around without anyone expecting anything from you. Being anonymous allows you to see and hear so much more. You notice the little things, conversations, sounds, and sights. You can take in everything without being distracted by social expectations, which allows you to appreciate the world around you in a whole new way. In crowded places, you don't have to fake a smile or strike up a small talk. You can just be there and enjoy the moment for what it is. While some may detest being just another face in the crowd, Sigma males enjoy it because it's their peaceful escape from a world full of expectations and judgment. They can finally just be themselves without anyone interrupting their thoughts or questioning their actions. Sigma males love this because they value their privacy and independence and don't crave the spotlight or constant validation from others. They find happiness in being true to themselves rather than in showing off. Being anonymous in a large crowd is a unique opportunity to live life unadulterated and unfiltered. It's not about being invisible. This is a unique emotion that many others may not comprehend, yet it is crucial to Sigma men. 7th place. You just said the obvious, but now there is an unpleasant stillness in the room, and everyone is bewildered. As if you were speaking a foreign language, people are staring at you with bewildered expressions. The most obvious statement you could make was that you really don't know how to feel at the moment. Sigma men often find themselves in such strange circumstances. They like to consider issues carefully and provide straightforward explanations. They assume that people would understand them immediately, but that isn't always the case. It's like you're speaking in English and they're hearing gibberish, and you worry whether you used too many fancy words or if your reasoning is too abstract for them. Whatever it is, they just weren't listening. It's annoying because you were clear and confident, and now you're left doubting yourself. You attempt to explain again, this time using even simpler language. However, you can see that it's still not working, and by now someone could even ask you to clarify it a third time. You're beginning to get a little irritated because it seems like they're deliberately attempting to avoid understanding you. All you wanted was to solve an issue or share an idea, but it seems like only you get it. Sigma men may feel alienated from others as a result, and they often question how they are unable to understand. Sigma males frequently choose to remain in the background because it's less complicated and causes fewer misunderstandings. It was so obvious that it seemed like no matter how hard you try, people just don't see things the way you do. This misunderstanding may make you less inclined to speak up the next time. They appreciate logical reasoning and can become irritated when others don't. It's not that they believe they are smarter, rather, it's that they see the world differently. When their obvious points are met with misunderstanding, it feels like a waste of time and energy and leaves them feeling exhausted by people who are constantly demanding attention. Being around someone who demands attention all the time can be extremely draining, particularly if you're a Sigma male. These individuals will stop at nothing to attract attention and ensure that everyone is watching them. They must always be the center of attention, whether that means talking loudly, flaunting themselves, or simply acting too dramatic. Even at work or school, being around someone who always wants to be the center of attention may be exhausting for Sigma guys, who often prefer to watch and remain in the background. Seekers may sap your energy. They may be always seeking criticism, want to participate in every conversation, or want praise. For Sigma males, this is extremely annoying because they don't understand why someone would need so much attention. Instead, they interpret it as a sign of insecurity and a lack of self-awareness. They find it difficult to relate to this behavior, and it can leave them feeling exhausted and irritated. It can feel like you're constantly giving but never receiving anything in return, like having a plant that needs watering but never grows. Sigma guys are even more worn out and want for some alone time in a one-sided relationship like this.